Welcome back to season two, episode three of Wicked, where I will again be handing the mic over to another beautiful, brave woman who survived domestic violence. I'm really hoping that the series, however long it is, really helps any of you that are struggling in this area of life right now and need a sign to leave or need something, encouragement to help get you out. It doesn't matter if it's just emotional abuse, just financial abuse, or physical abuse. All abuse is abuse, and you deserve more than that. You do not deserve to be abused in any way, and there is no abuse lesser than the other. It may be hard to leave, but all situations are hard. You have to find the courage to just get out. I hope that all these stories of how these women have gotten out can help you in some way. Our next story is my friend Anna, who I actually met through threads on social media. She happened to post up on her stories that it has been 5 years that she had escaped domestic violence on the very day that I had decided to actually turn my mic over to women and do this. So I took that as a sign, and she's an astrologer. So, um, she actually lives in Paris. And so while her situation and her court situation is out of the country in a different country, you will see such similarities in the West. The stories are the same everywhere, the courts are the same everywhere. So without further ado, here is Anna. When women dare to fully be themselves, to rise up as the divine beings they are, to operate in their magic, their sexuality, their power, they are always labeled one thing: wicked. All right, everybody, welcome back to another episode of Wicked. I believe this is the third interview I'm doing. I'm really, really enjoying this series right now. Today, I have Anna, who currently lives in France, and you're from France, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah.
she's from France. She's going to share her story with us today. I actually met her because she is an astrologer and I found her on Threads. And I was following her because I love her content. And you guys know how picky I am about astrology. So, so I
Thank
really
you.
loved all of her content. And one day she had posted up about how she is 5 years out of a DV relationship. And it was on the exact day that I chose to start doing this on the podcast. So obviously the stars aligned for us. Um, so I'm going to turn the mic over to her. I'm going to have her introduce herself and the name of her business and stuff, and then we'll get into her story.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Anna. I'm 29 years old, living in France, and I'm an astrologer and witch too. And my business is called Anna Marco Witch, like Marco and Witch. And yeah, I'm mostly posting on Instagram and Threads, making content, and I help people when they struggle in life. They need purpose, they need to find meaning behind what they went through. That's what astrology did for me. So that's why I made
Beautiful.
a career out of it because it really was my only tool back then when I was really, really struggling. So,
Yeah, I definitely want to get into that too when we get into your story because
yes,
everybody that I've interviewed thus far, it's like we've all had some type of spiritual practice we were able to turn to that like
yes,
saved us through it so that we could understand better, so that we can know ourselves better and like what we should be doing. Because things when they're
exactly.
getting turned upside down, it's so chaotic and you're looking for that like guidance, and spirituality is always where it's at.
Exactly. You need faith to hold on to something and to understand why you're going through all of that.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Um, okay, so I want to talk about right in the beginning how you met your husband and how he came across, and yeah, we'll start there.
Yeah. So we met on the dating apps, actually. We started off as a situationship, it wasn't even anything serious, but we quickly realized that we wanted the same things. We wanted a family, we wanted kids, we were both lonely. I just left France and I was studying actually in Serbia, my home country. And he's from there. He was also studying far away from his family. So we kind of found each other and we started to live together like 4 months after we met. It
Okay.
was really quick, but not like passionate. You know, when you're young, I was 21, he was 23. It wasn't, that kind of crazy love story. It was just we met each other, we want the same things. It felt very mature, you know?
Yeah. So this is all like as green flag as you can get because it's like we want the
Yeah,
same things. And I'm sure that he's like calm and charming and like where you're talking about
very.
fa obviously like you guys want a family and then
Yeah.
and
He wasn't afraid of commitment, you know. He
right.
was he was a young guy. I mean, usually men at that age don't want to settle and have children and talk about those that stuff. So, um, he had very, a very how can I say that? A good life, He was training a healthy
Hmm.
lifestyle. He didn't smoke, he didn't drink, and that was very important for me because
Yeah.
I had that in my family. My dad was had problems with drinking. He was violent too.
Hmm.
So, when I saw that he was living this calm and peaceful life, I was like, oh my God, this is this is all I need. And I'm an only child, so I tend to attach to people very quickly.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I mean, and I always try to, find that relief in other people. And at that
Yes.
time, even more because I left my home. So when I met him, I was vulnerable, but I don't know. I still don't know if he had a plan.
Right.
He, or, I can't figure it out because it felt really natural at the beginning.
When you
N-
guys moved in together, what did it stay pretty easy and everything?
Yeah, it was. I mean, we didn't have any fights. We agreed on what we wanted from life. We had intimacy problems, though. They
Okay.
started when we moved in together, but I don't know if it has something to do with it. Was it something that he was hiding or not telling me and I didn't know? And maybe that also escalated later. I still don't know.
Okay.
But other than that, we had really
Was it
no
that you
problems
guys
at
like
all.
just weren't drawn to each other sexually or like you don't really know what was?
Yeah, so he didn't want to have
Okay.
any, I mean, we started like that and it was great when we didn't live together, but when we started to live together, he was like, "Oh, we have to shower before it. I don't want, I don't, I'm tired right now." He always was avoiding it, so I thought that he was
Interesting.
cheating on me.
Right,
I
right.
mean, it's the first thing you think about.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
tried to talk with him about it. He wouldn't say anything. He was like, "No, nothing's wrong. I'm just tired. I train." He was doing football back then. I'm just so tired. And I was also young. I didn't even have much experience myself back then.
Right, right.
So I kind of let it go, but was, careful. So I notice if he cheats or does something, but I never found anything. I took the phone, I took the computer, I went through all of
Wow.
it. I never found anything. So either he was really good at hiding it, or I don't know. I mean, so yeah, that was our problem, but
Hmm.
it didn't, I mean, the violence didn't even start with that.
Right. So when did it start? So before like
Yeah.
violence started, so was like I know you're saying like you guys didn't really argue. It was like the one thing, like you
Yeah.
guys had intimacy issues. Was there ever anything that shot up a red flag in your head, or even if it wasn't in the moment, like looking back now where you were like, oh, that was not right.
Yeah, there was one event. We had a cat and the cat peed on the floor and he got crazy and grabbed him by the neck, and sorry, threw it on the floor. And we had a fight back then because I thought it was crazy, to do that to an
Yeah.
animal. And I remember that I called his mother and told her, imagine if he does this to our children one day. I was very close with her, and
Uh-huh.
I was just so shocked because he never had that kind of behavior. But since it was the
Yeah.
first time, I don't know. I just now
Right.
looking back, it should have been a sign, but it was one
Right.
I
That's like not
did.
enough because
No,
there's
it's not
nothing
enough to
else
break up a
wrong.
relationship and
There's
just go.
nothing
I
else
mean,
wrong. Yeah.
especially because I knew violence all my life. I mean, I saw my mother getting beaten up, beat up.
Hmm. Yes,
Sorry,
yes.
girl.
No, you're good. You're good. You speak really good English.
Thank you. I try. It's hard when you're French because the two languages are so different.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it's not that violence was never normal for me. But maybe, I don't know, that event wasn't that shocking to me. I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, now looking back, there was that one thing that
No, I
happened,
even
but
think
other
if I saw some like if everything else seems so calm and like I'd be like, oh, he's just having a bad day and like you know what I
exactly
mean? It would shoot up a flag, but not enough to be like, oh, I have to like exit this relationship. You know what
exactly
I
because he
mean?
never even did it again after, you know.
Right. Did he say
Very,
anything about it when you said something to him? Like, was he like apologetic or anything? Or
I don't remember honestly, but I know that it was a big thing because I remember that I called his mother and talked with her, but
did she
I don't
ever
know.
say anything about him, or was it is always
No,
just
no, 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 never, never,
yeah.
never. I mean, he did have a nickname in the family because I knew his brother, mother, father, everyone. He was the like the nervous one.
Okay. But
But
that's it.
yeah, I mean, I'm I don't know if you know Serbian people, but everyone is nervous
Yeah,
out there.
okay.
It's a, very fiery country.
Right.
No, I mean, everyone curses, it's like
Yeah.
it's not a very refined country.
Yeah, yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, nothing exceptional.
So when did things actually start to shift?
So I got pregnant by surprise because I had problems. I mean, I had a treatment because I couldn't get pregnant, and I got pregnant on the first try.
Okay.
So it's sped up things, but it's not that we didn't want them to be like that. I mean, it was a surprise, but we wanted a child, so it was completely okay. We were happy. I was very happy, and then we got in France because we were living in Serbia and we wanted to move here at my parents' house to live here so Kalina could be born here too. But we had a fight with my parents. So 3 months after, we went back to Serbia, and then I was completely alone. I didn't have my parents anymore. I wasn't talking to them. And maybe, yeah, a month later, we got married, and that's when everything changed.
This is like textbook. It's
Yeah,
like for it's like always the narcissistic textbook thing. It's either when they have you trapped in marriage or when the
pregnancy.
babe pregnancy, right? Because it's like
Exactly.
that's when they can't be this. It's either they have you trapped by marriage, so now it's harder to leave,
Yeah,
or when the
with a
pregnancy
baby.
happens,
Yeah,
like they can't be the center of attention anymore. And now they're supposed to be
exactly.
taking care of you, and then when the baby's born, you're solely focused on baby and they can't take it. So the abuse,
Exactly. That's exactly what happened. And you know what? Back then, when it started, I started to watch interviews of women like we're doing now.
yes.
And it shocked me when women said it's always when I got pregnant or we got married. And that's when I started to realize there's really something going on here because
Yeah.
how can it be? I mean, we weren't together for such a long time, but still, we lived together. We did everything together. He read my pregnancy diary. He went with me to the doctors.
Wow.
Serbian men don't do that.
Wow.
French men can't do that, but I mean, no, you can never find that. So we picked everything for our daughter, the crib, the clothes, everything. So how can that man change, so quickly? I mean,
Was he like that the whole pregnancy?
oh
Or was
yeah.
it, oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, the whole pregnancy, we were talking breastfeeding. I wanted to, give birth naturally. I mean, he
Yeah.
was, yeah, he really was. We cooked together, cleaned together. We really had this healthy couple thing
Do you
going on.
feel like when you were pregnant, he went even more attentive to you? Or was
No,
it, okay,
no, no, it was the same. It was the
okay.
same. Yeah.
So then when the baby was born, is that one thing, like when you were
Uh, a
postpartum?
bit, a bit before because we got
Okay,
married when I was 8 months pregnant,
okay.
and that's when things
Oh,
shifted.
wow. So like marriage really,
Yeah, for us it was marriage
okay,
because the baby was there already. But yeah,
right.
it was marriage. I think
Wow.
that yeah, he has that strategic mind. Like she's trapped now legally. She can do
Yeah.
anything. Especially because he knew that I didn't want to give birth in Serbia. I mean, hospitals out there are awful.
Really?
He knew that I was weak, vulnerable, afraid. So
Wow.
um, I think it was yeah easier for him to yeah,
Yeah.
to trap me. But I mean, he didn't trap me. I mean, I'm sorry, maybe this
No,
wasn't
no,
clear.
that it makes sense what you're
I
saying.
wanted to get married
Yes.
and everything. It's just that, yeah, I was. week.
Now it's harder
Yeah,
to leave once you're,
exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
So back then we had a dog. It wasn't a cat anymore. I mean, we had the cat and a puppy dog. It was a pit bull, and they do crazy things when they grow up, you know. They tear down the couch. They don't just pee on the floor. They do all
Yeah.
so one day he grabbed her. I mean, she was kind of big. She was like 5 months old, so she wasn't, you know, a little puppy.
Yeah.
He grabbed her by the neck again
Oh, wow.
and threw her on the floor and started to punch her with
Oh
his
my God.
and that and this time, I mean, the cat, it wasn't that spectacular. It was like he took it and threw it. I mean, sorry, it's
Yeah, yeah.
awful, but
No, no, but
with Peggy, the dog, it was like, you know, very bloody. And I mean, there were so many
oh my
emotions. I got
God.
scared for the dog, for me, for him, for everyone, for the baby that's going to come. I mean, you can't behave like that with a dog. It was, and you know, in those moments, you can't say, "Oh, please, don't beat the dog." You know, you have
Right.
to you have to shout.
Right. Yeah, your
And
adrenaline's like
e-
crazy.
exactly. And I mean, I say this because it's important for the court,
Yes,
but
yes, yes.
yeah. So, yeah, he went crazy, and we had this big fight because I tried to you know to tell him you can be doing that. I mean, where is that coming from?
Right.
Why are you behaving like that? I mean, it's a dog. She's going to do so many more, you know,
Yeah.
bad things. You can't act like that. It's going to be dangerous even for the baby. She can attack the baby. I mean, so yeah, and that's how it started. And the thing about us not having intercourse was still going on. And I
Okay.
remember that the first time he hit me, it was because he went to cut his hair and was out for like 3 hours. So of course, when he got home, I was kind of pissed because I thought he was cheating on me. But
Yeah.
the thing is, I mean, that time I thought he was cheating on me, but it didn't happen that often. He was never out.
Okay.
So it happened then, but it's not like I was suspicious all the time because he was always with me. He
Right.
didn't work because we were in Serbia, we went to France, we got back to Serbia, so he was figuring out what he's going to do. I was working online, so we were always together. And when he went out, it was only like an hour and a half to see one of his friends. So it was always so short. And so, you know, he always
Yeah.
called me, "Do you need something?" When I got, you know, I'm on the way home, "Do you need something?" He would take me to see his friends. I mean, you know, I didn't, there wasn't suspicion all the time. But that time it happened. I mean, there was. So
Yeah.
I remember when he got home, I was, you know, pissed, and he was trying to make me talk. What's happening? You know, why are like that? And I told him, and he was like, "Oh, this again." And we went upstairs because, yeah, I didn't mention that we were living at his parents' house, his father's house, actually, because his parents are divorced. Anyway, we weren't alone. There was his father, grandmother, and brother living
Oh,
with us.
wow.
Yeah, it's kind of normal in Serbia still,
Yeah.
but
But
yeah,
that's
I mean,
good. At
for
least you
us,
weren't like alone,
what?
alone. I feel like that's a little bit good right now. Like I'm like listening to the story. I'm like, well, at least she wasn't like
Yeah,
alone, alone. Like,
yeah, no, I think
yeah.
it was actually worse,
Oh
and
God.
you'll see, yeah, you'll see why after. But
Okay.
I mean, I had a good relationship with everyone. I
Yeah.
really can't, you know, nobody was bad with me. But yeah, this on that day, I remember that we went upstairs, and I don't know, we were fighting, and he threw me on the bed of his brother and
While
slapped
you were
me.
pregnant.
Yeah, 8 months pregnant. I mean, I was, you know,
Holy shit.
and he slapped me. And I started to cry. And when I started to cry, it made him even more crazy. So he started to strangle me.
Oh my God.
And it was quick, you know, I mean, it didn't last too long, but I remember that on at that moment, I thought, okay, this is it. This
Yeah.
is it. Our relationship is over. I mean,
No,
this is
you're pregnant. He doesn't even care.
exactly. And I mean, I didn't even do anything. I'm a Capricorn and a Virgo, you know, I'm very calm.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can't, you can't get me mad just like that. Even when he would curse me after, I can't even, I don't know how to fight, really.
Yeah.
I don't, you know, so I wasn't someone that was provoking him all the time. I didn't have a big mouth. I mean, so.
No, you're asking normal questions. Like, because if your
Yeah,
husband's not wanting to have sex with you, it's just like,
yeah,
well, what? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on? It's
of
normal to
course. And
ask
I mean,
that.
it was really crazy because at that point, I think it was like it has been a year since we didn't have had sex, you know. So
Yeah,
I mean,
like
of course, I'm going to be
obviously.
frustrated,
Yeah.
especially when pregnant.
Yes,
And I'm a
exactly.
Scorpio, so come on,
Yeah.
you can't do that to me. So, yeah, that was the first time, and I didn't realize it back then, but I knew it was over.
hmm
It was just, but I needed, things to land and, to process the thing and maybe try
Yeah.
to make things better. But I had a father like that, and I know
Right.
that men like that never change.
Yeah.
So that's why, I don't know, my whole world fell apart back then, but I was close to giving birth. So
Right.
I don't know, it was just
How would
crazy.
you even it's like at eight
I don't
months
know.
because you're about to have a baby. That's what's
And I
on your
was so
mind.
happy. I was pregnant with a little daughter. I wanted a daughter. It
Yeah.
was, everything was, I don't know, I had everything. We really had everything to be happy. We were a beautiful couple. Everyone, when people would see us, they would say, "Oh, you're so beautiful together." And he
Yeah.
really was, um, he, he was really nice. I mean,
Yeah.
it's maybe weird to say, but
No,
I
it's not
never,
because usually they are. The majority of them, they have that outward persona
yeah,
that everybody loves and they're Mr.
exactly.
Nice Guy. They bend over backwards for
And they're
people.
very charismatic.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, so yeah, that's when it started, and I don't know how should I carry
Oh,
on? What do you?
okay. So when the baby was born, did things
Yeah,
escalate or did
yeah,
it? Okay.
yeah. So he couldn't bear that Kalina cries. She was the perfect baby the first 15 days because she was just born, she was sleeping well and everything, but then she started to have her stomach hurt, and you can't. I was breastfeeding her, and even with that, you can calm them. They're just
Yeah,
crying all
yeah,
night.
yeah.
And I mean, I would take her, then I would give the baby to him. And instead of calming her, he would get even more pissed. I mean, we all get tired and exhausted,
That's
but it's
part
a
of
baby.
parenting.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a newborn. And he would
Yeah.
be, it's like she was trying to upset him. I mean, I feel like he was,
That's
taking it
what
like
his
that.
perception, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Like she was doing it on
On
purpose.
purpose. She's
That's
just an
really how
infant.
he was feeling. And I couldn't explain to him, it's just a baby. I mean, you can't take it personally.
Right.
So he would start to yell, to curse, and curse words in Serbian are not like in French or English. I mean, they're bloody
Oh
and
my
and
God.
very. I can't even translate it to you because we would get banned here. But it's awful. Really, it's really awful. And he would first curse her, and then a few times he shook
Oh
her
my
like that,
God.
like stop.
Oh my
And that's when,
God.
I started then he did it once, twice, and then I didn't give him the baby anymore. So I was
Yeah.
always holding her during the night. And then slowly she shifted actually her sleeping schedule. She wouldn't sleep. I think that until the first year, she didn't sleep at all,
Oh God.
for the night,
Yeah.
because that's when he would get crazy. And at first it started at night, but then it was even during the day. He would get pissed because he wasn't able to calm her. So I'm a mother and I breastfeed my baby. Of course, she's going to be more attached to me.
Right.
That's just, and we talked about that. I mean, he knew it.
Right.
It's not like he was a Neanderthal that wasn't, that didn't care at all about the pregnancy. He was there the whole time. He went, we had those appointments with the nurse. He knew
No,
how
it's
it was.
ingrained. It's ingrained in the brain. Like he's not center of attention. He doesn't have all your attention.
Yeah, but we even before we had Kalina, we weren't that, a loving couple, always, kissing, cuddling. We are Aquariuses, both of us, so we,
Yeah,
we need our
yeah.
space.
Yeah, yeah.
We were never that, attention giving, texting all day. That's just not how we are, but I guess that for him it was on another, I don't know, on another
Yeah,
dimension,
yeah.
plane, whatever. But yeah, when he couldn't calm her, he would get crazy. So I knew that if I leave him with the baby and I go to cook something, he would get I mean, it was awful. It was really
Wow.
awful because I could never leave my daughter with him. I
Right.
remember that when I went to the hairdresser because I didn't want to color my hair while I was pregnant, she was 3 weeks old, and I just got there. The lady just started to put me the collar on, and I received a text of him saying, I can deal with this. I'm going to throw her out the window.
Oh my
And
God.
a voice note of 1 minute of the baby, like, when the baby cries her lungs out when
Yes,
she can't,
yes.
it's not just, it's like she's
Oh my
losing
God, the
her
mother
breath.
adrenaline that goes off in your body in that moment of hearing your baby in distress.
I left with the
Yeah.
have the collar on. I left and I got back home and he was there, pissed off and all crazy with the newborn. I mean, it was, yeah. So I mean, at this point, I was never leaving him alone with the baby again.
Right.
But it was awful for me too because I was working. I was writing some articles in French, and that was our sole uh,
Income.
income, yeah. So he wasn't working, he was trying to figure out his situation. But I mean, when you have a kid, you don't think anymore, you
Wow.
just do.
Right.
That was also a point in our relationship when we didn't agree. He wanted to do things differently. He wanted to wait for his father to sell some land so he could take money and open a restaurant. And I was like, wait, you're
Right.
not doing that while we're having a baby.
Right.
Wait until go work in a restaurant, see how it works.
Yeah, learn
Get,
about it.
yeah. And when we have a little bit more money and when, our daughter is a bit more grown up, then I mean, we will do it, of course. But he was like, I don't know. He was, I mean, yeah, that was
This is like very textbook narcissist. It's
really.
very, yeah, it's
Please
very
do.
textbook because it's like when they have these grandiose ideas about things and then it has to go the way they're thinking, even though if it's very like illogical. So
Yeah,
they'll keep pushing towards that. You're the issue with everything. Like it's
of
not,
course.
yeah.
I'm the witch who didn't, who wasn't supporting her husband.
Right. Exactly. And then like the whole thing with the baby, it's like purposely doing things so that you will not ask him to take care of the baby, so that
Yeah,
everything is on you. Like it's like constantly making sure all of the burden is on you and like a way to punish you for not making him the center of your life anymore. It's like
exactly.
jealousy of his own baby.
Yeah, it really was like that because I remember times when he said awful things like, okay, she's going to come, you're going to have your mother, stop it, but how can you say that to a baby?
Right.
He really couldn't bear that she was crying for me. I mean, that's how it
Wow.
felt.
Yeah.
Because I don't know, I can explain it. It was, yeah, it was just
So what was the breaking point where you either left
mhm.
or yeah, like how did everything start like dissolving?
So at one point I got us an apartment because I didn't want to live in the house of his father. Nobody was helping, doing anything. I mean, everybody knew what was happening because I mean, they he- I he would I don't know if I can say what
Yeah,
he
you
was
can
doing.
say whatever. Yeah, yeah.
All right, he would strangle me. I had bruises, all over my neck. He would strangle me the most, but also punch me. Once he punched me in the, here on the chin. I
Hmm.
had blood, I had a scar and blood, and
So the abuse was
everybody.
getting worse and worse the deeper into
Yeah,
postpartum
it
you
was
are.
always getting worse. Yeah. So it
Wow.
started as a slap in the face, and then, it escalates.
Escalated.
And so nobody was doing anything. So at one point, I decided to rent an apartment. So we are alone. And I thought maybe when we were alone, it's going to be better, but it got even worse.
Hmm.
And one day, I left Kalina eating, and I went to take my shower. She was like 6 months old, 7 months old. So she was eating in her chair. I went to take my shower and I hear him lashing out at the baby again. So I go out of the shower, we start to fight as usual, and at one point she says, "That's it, I'm going to kill you." And he goes towards the kitchen. He grabs a knife, and I remember that I screamed it was the same scream as when I gave birth. It was like,
Hmm.
I really thought he was going to kill me at that moment. And that scream kind of took him out of, a state. He looked at me like that. put the knife down and just went back in the room. And yeah, that's when I knew that it was, until then it was also crazy. I
And
mean,
he
my
did that
daughter
all in
saw,
front of your daughter.
yeah, she
So
was just behind me.
yeah, he has, so he literally has no, like,
No, no, no filter at all. No conscious that a child
yeah,
shouldn't
his own
just
child. He
hear.
just doesn't, and there's like, it's like there's no emotional bond towards the
No,
baby.
not at all. No, he would. I mean, I remember that at the beginning he would cry when she was, she was sleeping like that, and he would watch her and cry because she was so cute. But how then? How can you be so, not consider that she's a child and that you're beating her mother, in
Right.
front of. I mean, it was.
No,
I
there
don't
it's like it's a disconnect in their brain. Like they don't look at you and the baby as one unit.
No,
Abusing the mother equals hello.
abusing. Yeah,
It's abusing the baby too.
yeah, of course, of course. And he knew where I came from. I mean, I saw that all my life. My
Right.
father never beat me, but I witnessed it. I was an only child, and that was my life. That was my whole life. When we met, I told him right away because I don't know, I was desperate for for someone to save me or to just
Yeah.
hear me. So he knew what happened.
Wow.
When we had that fight with my parents, my mother threw us out on the streets. I was 7 months pregnant. So, you know, there was that background of
Wow.
he knew that I had a difficult life. So he was really all I had.
Yeah.
I really loved him and he was my savior, but it lasted like, only
Yeah,
eight
that's what
months and then it
that
was over.
that's generally what happens like when you come out of like either abusive past relationships or a childhood that has some type of either emotional or physical abuse. Like you look for that savior. Like
Exactly.
it's the victim hero thing. And
Exactly.
so
Exactly.
you latch on to the first one that seems like it's going to be your knight in shining armor and stuff. And
And of course, it's never like that.
yeah, yeah,
So yeah,
wow.
that ninth episode was that was the moment when I was really, I mean, I was afraid even before that, but at that point I couldn't even sleep. Kalina was sleeping with us. I was still breastfeeding her, so I would not put her in the middle of the
Yeah,
bed. I would put her on the other side and just
yeah,
hold her like that because I really couldn't know what would his next move be. When is he going? Because nothing was really ever happening. Yes, we didn't agree on some things, but it wasn't a big thing. And I told him that, we have problems, but it's not like big problems. What is going to happen when we really have something? I mean, God forbid our child is sick or,
right.
we have big financial problems, someone dying, I don't know,
He
a
can't even handle
disease.
the baby crying.
Yeah. So so yeah, that's when I started to, really think about leaving. I remember that when the knife thing happened, I called his mother and father, told them what happened. They came, we went out in a restaurant, and he tried to talk to him. His father tried to talk to him and asked, "What's happening with you? We all know what's happening. Tell us." And he wouldn't say a word. He was just to stare like that and not say anything. His mother was crying, and I was full of it. I mean, I at this point I didn't even care what would
Right.
happen next. I just wanted, things to go back to normal. So I told him, you know what? Either you go out of the apartment or I go out with Kalina. And he said, well, go out with Kalina. I mean, even that, you know, you don't put your
Yeah.
wife and child on the street
Yeah.
like that. I mean, he has family, he has his mother, his father, he can easily get out.
Hmm.
We take a little break and then we come back but no, it's like he was punishing me again.
Yep.
Like, you want
Yep.
to, you want that, and
That's the mindset, like how to punish you more. Like you were being punished for taking a shower. So he, you know
exactly,
what I mean?
exactly,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
it
I went
really,
through the
yeah,
same shit.
really,
Yeah, it's like I'm listening to your story. I'm like, it's literally like there's like a computer program in their brain that they just run. And it's just the
that's
same fucking
crazy. Well, I
story.
hope it helps
Like,
other women
yes,
see
it
that
will.
pattern
It
too.
will. It will.
That's Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, so did you end up leaving and
Yeah, I did. I
Okay.
I remember that I called my cousin because I didn't have anyone. I wasn't still talking to my parents. So I called him. Nobody, I mean, in my family, nobody knew what was happening. And that's the first time I said something. And I told him everything. And he said, you know what? You just got married. If like that right now, imagine what's going to be in a few years. You
Right.
have to leave. You have to take your passport and your child and leave.
Yeah.
And that's what gave me the courage to actually
Yeah.
leave. I remember the story is how I left. That story is also crazy because that was a Monday when I called my cousin.
Okay.
Kalina had her French, no, she didn't have a French passport yet because I was born in France. So when she was born in Serbia, we went to the French embassy to make her papers, but we
Yes.
didn't have them yet. She was just declared born, you know?
Right.
So I wrote to the embassy. I knew that if I had to leave, I couldn't live in Serbia because mentalities there are, even worse than in any Western country. I mean, women and children are not protected as
Wow.
we are here. I knew it wasn't an option for me to stay in Serbia. I had to go back to France. So I contacted the embassy so they could help me. They offered help right away and they told me to come and just give them photos of the baby so they can make a passport. I told him that we had an appointment, that they finally called us for the passport, and he didn't suspect a thing.
Okay.
So we went there.
So you're like secretly planning your escape,
Yeah,
essentially? Okay.
yeah. But I mean, at this point, I knew I wanted to leave. I just didn't know how yet because
Right.
at that point, he was working, but like in front of the apartment,
Oh
you know,
God.
in a restaurant. So he was really always there. So I
Right.
was just waiting for a moment, but I really didn't know when it was going to happen. So Monday, I call my cousin. Wednesday, we go to the embassy. And on that day, he says, you know what? On Saturday, there's an MMA fight. And for us in Serbia, it starts like at 7 a.m., I think. So he said, I'm going to go around midnight at my father's house, and we're going to wait with my brother, and watch the thing. And I was like, oh my God, this is
Oh
my
my
moment. It's
God.
now or never, because
Yeah.
we were for 3 years of living together. He never left the house during the
Oh
night.
my God.
Never happened. And we were never up like maybe 10 kilometers apart,
Oh.
not more than that. So I thought, okay, the stars are,
Yeah, I was
aligning.
just thinking that. I'm like,
Yeah.
there's like,
And so I thought, okay, it's happening on Saturday. I told the embassy and they proposed to bring me the passport at the airport. And I have to mention, I was like, oh, I have to say it in miles,
oh,
maybe
it's okay. You don't have to. Just
300 miles away
yeah,
from the
yeah.
airport. We were in
Wow.
the south of Serbia, and my family does not live there. So I was completely, surrounded by his family and his friends. I was completely alone, but I had to get out. And you wouldn't believe that on that Saturday, everyone came to see us. His mother and
Oh my
stepfather.
God.
I couldn't believe it. I almost, didn't leave because it was crazy. But I mean, I knew I had to. It was just
Yeah.
so emotionally draining. And
Yeah.
I have to say, I really love those people. I mean, now looking back, it's not the same, but at that moment, it was
Yeah.
really hard because I
Yeah,
really
of
had a good
course.
relationship with everyone.
Yeah.
So his mother came, stepfather, cousin, brother, father, and grandmother. Everyone came for a coffee. Anyway, so at midnight he left, and I remember he was really sweet. He was like, "Oh, I'm so sad that I'm leaving your girls. Do you need anything? Do you want a pizza, a sandwich?" And I was like, "Just go, please."
Oh my
Just
God. Yeah, yeah.
no. It was really awful. So Karina was asleep, and when he left, I got up, took a bag, put my passport in, some diapers, water, took my baby, and just left. And it was just like in a movie. Rain was
Oh
pouring,
my God.
and
It had to be
stars.
dramatic. Like,
Yeah, very
yeah.
dramatic. Yeah. So, so I look for a taxi. I find one. He says, "No, I can't take you because you didn't mention that you want to go out of the city." So I run with my baby,
Oh
to
my
the plane.
God.
And it was Saturday night in Serbia. People go out all the time, especially on Saturday. So I could have ran into anybody, even
Yeah,
in the city.
yeah,
But I was willing to take that risk
yeah.
because it was either that or I
Your
really wanted
life.
anyway. So,
Yeah.
and I found a taxi and went, to my hometown, like maybe 50 miles away from there. And I went to my uncle's house. He then took me to the police in the morning. I wanted to file a report, because I was kidnapping my daughter
Right, right.
and leaving, our house. So I had
Yeah, to
to do
protect
something.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah. But they wouldn't take my report. They said, just go home and deal with your husband. And I was, with my baby, 7 months old baby, running away, and they were like, oh, just go home and deal with it.
Oh my God.
That's how it goes. That's why I knew I couldn't stay there.
Yeah.
And actually, one policeman followed me. I went out and he followed me and he said, you know what? Go to France, take your baby, go to France, and you'll deal with all of this there.
From France.
Just don't stay
Yeah.
here. So that's what we did. We went to the airport. My parents had booked me a flight ticket to Paris. But we arrived at the airport at 10 and the plane was only at 5 in the afternoon.
Oh my
So I
God.
had the whole day to wait and it's like 2 hours drive from his city. So it was really easy for him to come.
Right.
And I had to come up. I remember it was in the 15 August to 2020. It was so hot. I was in the car. Kalina was fussy. He's sending me text because he got home
And you guys aren't
and he's
there.
like, "Where are you?" And I came up with the plan. I told him that my father came to take us and that we were already at the Hungary border, so he wouldn't try and come get us
Yeah.
at the airport. That I was so afraid of that because
Right.
I really thought that he could. I think he could have killed me, on the
Yeah.
spot if he's. I
He
mean,
wouldn't even have cared if people were watching.
no, 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 no. It would.
Yeah.
I really think it could have been, very dangerous. So that's why I told him that. And I also left him a note before leaving. I didn't say that. I left him a letter and I told him, you know what? I already told you that I couldn't live like this for long. We had that conversation and I told him, I can't live like that. I mean, it's awful. I lost, I don't know, 15 pounds. I was the shadow of myself. I couldn't eat anymore. I was afraid, you know.
Yeah.
I once I told him that, and that's what I wrote on the letter. And I said, I told you, I can't live like this anymore. I will never forbid you to see your daughter, but I have to take us out of there. This is not a life for us. I don't wish you any harm. I will never make any problems. I just want out.
Hmm.
I have that photo somewhere. I have to find it, but I took a photo of the letter and yeah. So I don't know if when he sent this text, I don't know if he saw that letter or not, but yeah, he was freaking out. And when I told him that, I don't know, maybe he called me, his mother too, but nobody came at the airport. At one point, maybe I turned off my phone or I don't know. I don't really remember.
Yeah.
But it was, yeah, it was awful because I was scared. I really just wanted to get into the plane. And then I knew I was going to be relieved. The lady from the embassy came, she gave me the passport. That's how I was able to leave.
Wow.
Yeah, I was very lucky to, I mean, Claire Charbonneau, if
Wow.
you're watching me, you saved my life. I mean, really, I will
Wow.
never forget her. Yeah, on a Sunday, she came with her
Oh,
husband and,
wow.
gave me the passport. So yeah, it was, I think it was, yeah, fate. I mean,
Yeah, that's amazing.
that's real amazing. I mean, even on the, in the worst moments, I still got some kind of help. So
Yeah. Wow.
you really can't forget that. And yeah, so we ended up taking the plane. Nobody didn't ask me any question. And we got to France. My parents were waiting for me. And yeah, that's how I got away.
Wow. So now you're back in Paris.
Yeah.
And so now
Yeah.
Okay, so
It
now
was just the beginning.
right, because now you have to go through divorce court from another
Yeah,
country. So there's that. And
yeah,
then custody is obvious, like, unless he gives up rights, there's going to be custody between
eh,
countries.
yeah.
And then how the hell do you even wrap your mind around, like, knowing how he's been with her
Yeah,
to
that's
even, so what is that looking like?
so the first year, he didn't even try to stay much in contact.
Okay.
He came to see her a year after, and I knew that I had to, I had to meet with him if he asks for it, because if I don't, who is going to believe me that I want, to do things
Right. Oh, yeah.
right?
Yep.
But it was very scary. And I remember that the first year we talked about getting back together. Now, I know it sounds crazy regarding the situation, but
Hmm.
I don't know if it's the case for you. But for me, it was very hard to really cut that relationship.
Yeah, of
Do you know
course.
when I did it for real, like really? It was in last May when I
Oh,
really,
wow.
with was okay with myself to accept that it's the end.
Yeah.
So we talked about getting back together, but it never happened. We talked about that maybe 5 or 6 times, but I could never
Hmm.
because I couldn't
Right.
trust him. I really, really, really loved him. And I couldn't wrap my mind around being a single mother. First,
Hmm.
that was for me the worst because I
Yep.
really wanted a husband.
Yeah.
I
It's
wanted
hard.
time
Nobody wants to
ago.
be a single mom. I say it
No,
all the time. Like, I wouldn't wish single motherhood on anybody. It's so
no, me,
hard.
me
Like it's
neither.
not,
No,
it's
I mean nobody
yeah.
asks. I mean, yeah, nowadays people can have a child alone. I mean, it's happening more and more,
Yeah.
but it's different when you know,
Right.
when you know from the
Right.
start.
Versus when you're planning to be with somebody and like,
Exactly.
yeah.
And especially because I didn't really have a sense of family
Right.
growing up, so I really wanted that for my child.
Right. And so now that's being evaporated and it's
Yeah.
like
So that was the worst for
there's a
me.
lot
At
there.
first, it wasn't, he didn't get litigious, right away. He was like, I don't know, trying to get me back. So we didn't have that custody battle right away. In France, it's very long to go to the court, to wait for a date, etc. At one point when we saw that we weren't going to be back together, that's when he started to drag me into court, and he
Right.
would, of course, he lied and he told all sorts of things, but the worst part is that the court believed him all the time, even if he wasn't French, he didn't speak French. He had no proof of what he was saying. Once he asked for a recess, I think we say that, when you
Yeah.
move the date to a few months, he didn't give any proof. He said, I already have a court date in Serbia, so I want this one to be moved. And they said, okay. They didn't ask for a paper, something from,
Wow.
and that's when it really started to drive me nuts because I was the bad guy in the story. I was
Yeah.
the one who ran away with the child, but I really never forbid him to see her.
Right.
When he wanted to come, he saw her, but he only came maybe 5 times.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's not on me. He didn't have any
It
proof.
sucks so bad for women because we always are thinking of like how do I make sure I'm presenting in a certain way? Even though you're scared for your daughter, you're scared for you, you still have to present to a patriarchal
Exactly.
system like you're the good, obedient, subservient female trying to
Yeah,
do what she can, even if it's an abuser. And like you're
exactly.
doing that, and things are still being manipulated against you
It's the
anyway. It's like you
worst.
can't win.
No, I get why women are afraid to leave,
Yeah.
because I wasn't aware at all when I started the process.
Yep.
I mean, friends, women, we always told us, I mean, people always told us, women and children are protected. If
Hmm.
if you suffer abuse, you should report it and you should go to the police. I was,
You were
I
told that here too. And the court
yeah,
systems are pro-woman until you actually go through it all, and then you realize it's not
exactly.
at
They almost laughed
all.
at my face when I was
Yeah.
trying to report something, and I mean, even for me, even to go to the police was like dreadful. But and you go there and they're not, they really, I mean, I know that there are people that do their jobs well, but sadly I didn't meet them. So
Yeah.
I can't believe that they really exist because I didn't see them. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
No,
So
you're good.
yeah, that whole court thing was crazy. And I mean, there's so many events. I will try to be really short, but at one point, he asked to take her during the summer for 2 months
Oh
in
my
Serbia.
God. And how
And
old
for
is she at this point?
1 year and a
Oh
half,
God.
I mean, I was still breastfeeding her.
Yeah.
And yeah, he wanted that and 1 month for winter, which was crazy. And I always told the judge, I have no problem for him to see his daughter. I just don't want her alone with him.
Right.
I want
You
to
have
be there.
every right.
Yeah. And so at the beginning, I didn't start a divorce like for, for violence or that. I started a simple divorce because that's what my lawyer told me to do,
Hmm.
which was a mistake. But I didn't know back then, I didn't know better. And I was also going through single motherhood,
Right.
dealing with my stuff, trying to put a bit, I was a nail tech, so I was trying to, keep that running. And yeah, so it was I didn't have the strength to really fight and find all the informations I
Yeah.
needed for that process.
Yeah.
That was the
You can
worst.
only do so much.
Exactly. And if you don't have, and if you're not lucky enough to have a good lawyer,
Or the
then
money for what's like a top
oh,
lawyer. Like they're so
yeah, first of all, yeah,
expensive.
the money.
Yeah.
Because in France, we have like this system where we don't pay anything, but it's actually
Oh,
you end
wow.
up paying because they give you a lawyer. I'm getting a divorce and they give me a corporate lawyer. I mean,
Oh, God.
it's not,
Yeah.
so I
Yeah.
ended up paying my lawyer. And yeah, so he asked for that, but he obviously wasn't, I mean, I I was afraid that he would get it because I saw that the judge didn't believe me when I was telling that he had been violent and everything. I had proofs, but for them it wasn't enough of a proof,
Oh my God.
of course. So, but the proof, I mean, for me it was they were more than enough because it was literally voice notes of him cursing, yelling, shaking my daughter, beating me up. And for them, for the court, it wasn't enough.
Wow.
And I had those voice notes because at one point, I mean, I knew if I leave the baby, he's going to yell at her. And I wanted someone to do something since the people that were living with us weren't doing anything. I recorded him to send it to his mother so she could maybe, do something,
Yeah.
or his stepfather. And that's why I had these proofs.
Wow.
But I didn't have any other because I couldn't go to the police. I couldn't go to the doctor. I mean,
Right.
that's what the court asked for me. But you don't have any doctor records of you being, physically abused by your husband. And I said, yeah, but do you really see me going to the doctor
Right.
during or after that?
No woman in an abuse case goes to the doctor and be
No.
like, yeah, my husband did this because you're afraid.
Exactly, because when I come home, what is he going to do with
Right.
me,
Right.
If I report him to the police and they call him to ask him questions, what is he going to do when he comes back home? Because usually in this situation, the man beats you up for nothing already. So if you
Right.
really do something, that's when you know that you're
Right.
going to be killed or I don't, I mean, so yeah, that's why I had only those proofs. They were enough so he doesn't get her alone.
Okay.
So that's a relief. But we still got dragged by the court through social centers when Kalina had to go to see him, and she was traumatized by them because
Oh,
they were,
right.
again, so mean to us. They, in the report that they wrote, they said that they blamed me because I didn't prepare my daughter enough for the meeting. She was 3 years old. You leave her in a room with strangers, with her father that she doesn't see. I mean, what are you expecting? And of course, I was emotional because my baby is crying and I'm leaving her.
Right.
So, I mean, if we meet in a social center, it means that there's something going on, right? I mean,
Right.
someone did
Oh my
something wrong.
God.
And there were, I remember it was a woman, Lucy, I think, and she was the worst. She really made me feel like I was a liar. And I wasn't, I know myself. I never talk bad or curse, or I'm very polite. I try to do things the right way. I just really had no luck during
Yeah.
that whole court thing. We then had an appointment with a psychologist, and she like, analyzed us. I mean, now I know that I can sense people, and when I had her on the phone, I knew she was going to screw to screw me up. I just said nope,
Yeah, yeah. Screw you over.
screw me over. And when I went to the appointment, she was only asking things about my childhood. So I told her, my father was I had a drinking problem and was violent, and that's why I knew I had to protect my daughter. But I mean, I just told her that. I didn't go on and on about it. And then she saw Kalina, and I mean, she just asked her, like, I don't know, do you see your father? Yes, no. Do you go to school? Yes. I mean, nothing concrete, you know?
Yeah.
And and in her report, she said that I don't leave place for him to be like, in the
And
family.
right.
Lady, I told you that he was vile. I mean, and I didn't even try to, I don't know, make him look worse than he
Right.
already was. I just told her
You're telling
this
the truth. It's
exactly, but she
like
wouldn't even listen to me. She didn't even listen to the whole story. And she analyzed us. So when we got, that in front of the judge, I had no choice but to get an agreement with him because he had big chances to have Kalina alone because the
wow.
social center said, oh, he's completely okay. He goes there for an hour, no
Right.
signs observed, and of course he's
Right. What does that prove?
yeah,
Yeah.
nothing. And yeah, I'm to blame because my daughter wasn't prepared enough, and the psychologist said that. So I was screwed. So we found an agreement. He agreed to not take her alone, and that he only sees her when he comes in France or I go to Serbia with me, and I have to like call him once a week, and he sends child support, and that's it. So that was our agreement a year and a half ago. And yeah, we're still waiting for the judge to, to approve that, because now she's asking if she's competent to, to divorce us because there's, I don't know, there's a convention between Serbia and France. I don't want to get into that, but I just want to say it's very long. I mean, it's been 5 years since I left and I'm still not divorced.
That's
And I still,
crazy.
that's crazy. Yeah, completely crazy. I mean, we're separated and all, but I want to be divorced and I want to be protected by the
Yeah.
court. But really, I mean, I don't want to badmouth someone or the system or anyone, but really, I mean, I feel like they don't care about us.
No.
First of all, they behave like we are, like we're bad people, they're like all severe and
I know
like that.
it.
I mean, my life is on the line. Please, have some
I know.
consideration. I'm a mother. You know what the judge asked me? Why didn't you present? Because once Kalina didn't want to see her father, so I told him, you know what, she's crying, she doesn't want to come, so sorry. And we already saw him 3 times before that, so it was completely okay. But he used
Yep, of
that opportunity
course.
to say, oh, that time she didn't give me I mean, she didn't come for me to see my daughter. And the judge asks me, why didn't you present your daughter? And I said, well, she didn't want to, so I didn't want to force her. And she said, but when she doesn't want to eat, you force her, right? And I said, no. I mean, so imagine a judge.
I know they just don't think about children. It's
No,
like it goes to like what does the father want and what is fair to him.
Exactly. And they want to keep that's what they say, at least in France, they want to keep the father in the child's life. But when I mean, he never asks if she
He's
needs anything.
abusive. He was abusive
Yeah.
towards her as a baby. Like
And
it like
I
shaking
have
a baby.
proof.
Like, hello.
Yeah. And you know what? When the judge asked, "Did you really shake your baby?" He said, "Well, I didn't want to harm her, but I did like this."
So
What
he's
more?
admitting that he doesn't even know how to take care of an infant properly. Like that's 101 parenting. You don't like everybody
In
knows you
front
don't
of the judge,
shake.
it's written. They have it written out there, in the at the court. So what more proof do you need? You
That he
know?
should not be alone with the
Yeah.
child. Like,
And I did everything the court asks me to, every deadline, everything we had to pay. I did everything, by the book. I don't know how it's
yeah, yeah, by the book.
he didn't. He was always late. Late to get the appointments at the social center, late to pay, late to come, and they didn't hold him accountable for anything. That's the craziest part.
Yeah, this
That
is like stereotype. It's like the court system's the same everywhere. Like I was
I guess so,
wondering
yeah,
what
because
I was wondering like the court story because it's like in a different
yeah,
country. I was like maybe it's going to be
no, it's the
different. It's
same.
like nope, it's the
Same.
same as every
I
woman.
really, I'm an Aquarius, so obviously I like conspiracy theories, and I really think that all these systems are designed to keep
Yeah.
us miserable.
Yeah.
I mean, you can tell me that courts are here to help people. I don't believe it. Neither lawyers. I'm sorry. I'm
No.
sure there are good lawyers out there, but most of what I saw is just I mean,
It's a money
you pay.
making, especially family court. They do.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine who she's been in a custody battle for I think we're going on year 8. 8 years,
8 years.
no leeway, like nothing in agreement. She's fighting. It's just it's
Oh my God.
insane. Like I just but it just
eight
it's a
years.
money making
A
bullshit.
money-making machine,
They
exactly.
always are, oh, we got to move the court date to this,
Yeah,
and then you got to
exactly.
pay
Yeah,
these fees and you got to go here. It's just it's all bullshit.
exactly. Yeah, so I'm not just a conspiracy theorist, I'm right.
No, no. But I mean, not to like change to astrology, but I feel like Pluto moving through Aquarius and Uranus and
Yeah,
Gemini. Like, I feel like in the next 20 years, this whole like system's gonna get dismantled. Like it's gonna
I
be painful because the
yeah.
system is what runs the world. So I think there's gonna be like a lot of extreme
But we
change.
already I really believe that we oh sorry, it's again.
It's okay.
I really believe that we already we woke up. I mean,
Yeah.
you see it on social media, as much bullshit as there is on social media, we also see so many useful things.
Yes.
That's how I
Yes.
learned about astrology.
Yeah,
That's how I
exactly.
learned about herbalism and everything. So I think that people are really starting to see what's happening.
Yeah, I
And
agree.
I saw a lot of fear mongering on social media lately, especially at the beginning of the year. Oh, Uranus is in Gemini, there's going to be this and that.
No, yeah, I
No,
know.
I don't think
I
so.
stay away from the fear monger. Like whatever's gonna happen is gonna
We
happen.
can't
But
control
yeah, you
everything.
can't control it anyway, but it is
And
for
it's
the
we're
it
not
is the
supposed to anyway.
right.
So
It's
yeah,
for the bettering of humanity. So let's go.
exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Okay, so what did healing look like for you after this? Like, are you still very thick in the process? Like astrology, obviously, you found and it helped with some. So what did your healing journey look like?
It was very long and very painful. But I wouldn't have done it another way. I mean, I was really going through it because I really wanted that family. As I said before, I really wanted to be pregnant again, to have another child.
Hmm.
I would maybe still 3 years after, I would cry when I see a pregnant woman on the streets. I couldn't stand to stay with Kalina at birthdays because there were all these moms and couples. Every
Yeah.
first day at school was so painful for me.
Yeah.
And it's just this year that I really, I don't know, I guess I had enough, suffering.
Yeah.
So I really let it, I knew that I couldn't force it.
Yeah.
When I learned about astrology, that was my first window into spirituality, real spirituality,
Yeah.
because Serbians are Orthodox.
Okay.
It's Catholic, not
Hmm.
Catholic, sorry. It's from Christianity. And I mean, whenever I would ask a question in religion, they would say, it's like that. God gives and God takes, and you just have to accept it. And don't ask questions, just pray and everything's going to be okay. And it wasn't enough for me.
Right, right.
I needed an answer, but why? I mean,
Yeah.
I suffered, I didn't have a childhood. I was never a young woman because I always had to take my mother to the hospital when, take clean blood out of the floor. I mean,
Wow.
I never was a young,
Yeah.
carefree lady. Then I got married and I have the same fate. I mean,
Right.
there has to be something. It
Right.
can't just happen. And of course, I discover my birth chart for the first time and I see everything explained.
Right.
The divorce, the single motherhood, the violence, the mother. I mean, we even
Wow.
see my father's drinking problems in my
Yeah.
chart. You can't make that up.
Right.
And that's how I knew, okay, this was meant to be.
Yeah.
And I was the one who broke the curse because my grandmother was had the same problems. I mean, so if I didn't do it, maybe Kalina would
Right.
have the same, the
Right.
same fate. I hope she doesn't, but I don't know. It was, yeah, so it was astrology was the first really helpful point because I was validated.
Yeah.
I saw it in front of my eyes.
Yeah.
And then that was one part, and it was great at the beginning, but it wasn't obviously enough because you have all that emotional post-traumatic thing going
Right.
on. And honestly, I didn't have any money to invest in psychotherapy or in energetical work. I really had to do it alone.
Yeah.
And I think that's also why it was so long and so painful.
Yeah.
But that's the first time I met grief in my life,
Yeah.
grieving my life as a wife. I loved it. I
Mm-hmm.
really loved being a wife, and I don't know, I love being a mom. So I had to grieve all those parts of me
Yep.
and meet the new ones who are
Yes.
actually great.
Yes.
But it's just that it wasn't why I what I planned. So I let it go. I isolated myself a lot. Some people say it's not good, but I think that when you're going through grief and pain like that, you really have to be alone because you can't stand people.
Oh yeah, no. And you don't want anyone's opinion. It's just something you have to navigate on your own.
Exactly.
Like yeah, I did a lot
You
of
had that
grieving on
too?
yes, yes.
Oh,
Isolation was my best friend because like I
me
just needed
too.
to be alone with it.
And everybody, I guess everybody was telling you, well, you have to go out, you have to, see your friends and
That doesn't
family.
make me happy. That doesn't change any. Like
No,
I don't want it. Like I didn't even want to like get out of it. Oh, I want to be distracted. I didn't want to be distracted. I just
exactly,
wanted to grieve the loss of a love,
exactly,
to grieve the loss of what I thought was going to be, and like get through it. And I
exactly,
just knew if I had kept ignoring it and trying to put my mind elsewhere, whatever, it's just going to elongate the process down the road. Like
exactly. Because you
just
you
want to
could
be
feel
alone
it.
with it. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly. Me too. And also it was very difficult, especially with me being a nail tech. People come because they have a birthday or because they go on vacations. And I was,
Mhm.
it was, I mean, yeah, it was, I don't know, jealousy or
Yeah,
envy.
yeah,
Just, seeing people enjoying their lives. And I was very young when all this happened. I was 24 when I became a single mother. So
yeah,
to see my friends go on trips, uh, you know, sign these big contracts and have these, fancy jobs, and I was just, there mothering and
yeah,
it's struggling, and nobody could understand me,
yeah,
even if I tried to. I mean, some people may have good friends or I don't know, family. I really had no one. So I had
yeah.
my parents as like, how can I say that? They were here, but as I mentioned before, we had a really complicated history. My father wasn't. The weirdest thing happened when my daughter was born. My grandmother died, and from that point on, my father was never violent again. So thank
Oh,
God for
wow.
that. But I mean, so that's the only. I mean, that's crazy. I don't know if it's something with my grandmother, but yeah. So
Wow.
I had, I wasn't living in fear and all of that anymore.
Hmm.
But I didn't have support either.
Right.
Neither emotional or, they were judging me a lot. My parenting style, obviously, I mean, we're not the same generation. So I
Right.
was very much alone in everything I did. And that's when, astrology put me out of it. And then just, I don't know, feeling it, letting it go and
Hmm.
understanding actually how it works, how
Yeah.
those lesson works. because yeah, you're going to come back to it. Sometimes you're going to think, oh, I'm healed. I feel better now. I don't think about him anymore. I mean, I'm good with my life. I'm happy about what I do. And then you just, it just
Yeah, it
falls
comes in
apart
a
again.
wave. It comes in waves.
Yeah,
Like,
it's a
I mean, I remember being like, oh, okay, I think I'm finally good. And then like a couple weeks later, it's like,
yeah.
dude. And I'm just like, no. And it's like an outside situation or something you see or like it's like something
Exactly.
triggers it. But again, so like it's like the use of astrology is nice in with that because you can kind of see where you're
Exactly.
being asked to alchemize something. So it's not like blame the transit. It's like this is what it's asking of me to do right now. This is why it's
Exactly.
coming up. And so I can actually like do something. It's like freeing
Exactly.
if you use it right, you
Yeah,
know?
and if you just know that it's something happening out there and you can't do nothing about it, so
Right.
it's easier to accept it
Yes.
because you can't control everything.
Right. Right.
And that's what helped me let go because I mean, with I'm an Earth girl and a Scorpio moon. I mean, I have to control everything. I have to know
Yeah.
what happened. I'm a Capricorn stellium, so I have to know
Okay.
10 years from now what's
Yeah,
going to
yeah.
happen.
The 5-year plan. It has to go this way. And it's like,
Exactly,
nope.
exactly. So I really had, I mean, this experience really had me, learn to let go, which is the
Yeah.
worst.
Yep.
Even through the court thing. I mean, last year I was a zombie, really. I
Yeah.
was deep in depression. I was scared for my daughter. Yeah, the court really did us bad. And yeah, I'm glad that I'm out of it. I mean, it's not over yet,
Yeah.
but at one point I just said, you know what? Fuck it. I don't want to be in this state anymore. I've had enough of being
Yeah.
scared and, always unhappy. I mean, I have to find happiness amongst the chaos. I know it
Yes.
sounds cliche,
No, that
but
that I say that all the time. Like that's what the pathway to bliss is. It's like in the
exactly,
darkness, you will find bliss there if you allow yourself
exactly.
to. Because like
Because
nothing's
even
ever gonna look perfect on the outside how you want it. If you wait for
exactly,
that, you'll wait forever and you're never gonna be happy.
exactly. And because even when you reach that happy, even if I get divorced and I'm protected, I don't know what's happening next. I
Exactly.
can be on the top of the world and
Exactly.
something awful
I always
happens.
say there's always going to be holes in the boat. Just it's your brain. I
Yeah,
literally
oh, that's
taught on
great.
that today in the coven. I was like, your brain usually picks about 3 things on cycle to worry about. And it'll go through those three
Yeah,
things all the time. And
it,
even when you have all the money, all the love, all the whatever, it will
yeah,
still cycle through those 3 things if you don't gain control over it. Like you are not your thoughts. You can't let your brain like just like meditation is I always teach that because it's like that's going to the gym for your brain. It's getting you in
oh,
control of your thoughts so that when you start bunny
right,
trailing and worrying about, well, what if this? And then what if he takes her this day? And then that happened. You're believing in a fairy tale that has not even
yeah,
happened. You're projecting.
exactly.
I always say, I'm like, we're all fiction story writers that believe our own novels,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah,
Like 80% of
exactly.
what we think is a waste. So, like, just
Exactly.
keep
Yeah,
like getting your
you're
brain
so
back
right.
to the present moment. That's where you'll find your bliss, you know?
That's true. That's true. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's finally what I've learned.
Yes.
I'm so grateful because oh my,
Yeah.
I was really going through it. I
Yeah.
don't know. I really, the only thing that kept me alive was my daughter
Yeah.
because I knew I couldn't leave her.
Yes.
But
Yes.
I wanted to end
I've had
this
those thoughts so many
so many
times. Like,
times. I mean,
yeah.
at one point it doesn't make sense.
Hmm.
And yeah, when you are you can't find meaning and you can't find motivation anymore. It's the worst, but
Yeah.
it always, I mean, it never lasts.
Yeah.
Because if we survived, as I said in one of my posts lately, I was brave for doing what I did, but I was also lucky that he didn't
Hmm.
act first.
Yeah.
And all survivors are actually really lucky to be
Hmm.
there
Yeah.
because so many women and children still die in their
I
own
know.
homes.
I know it.
And yeah, we really have to make something out of it. So
Yes.
I know it can be really, really hard to leave. It can be hard to be a single mother, but the rewards after are amazing.
Yes. Yep, absolutely. If anybody wants to reach out to you to get an astrology reading or even just to like talk more about this, where can
Yeah.
they find you?
On Instagram, it's Anna, Ana, dot Markovic, Marko, and then witch, like a
Okay.
witch.
I'll put it in the show notes and
Yeah.
everything too, so
Thank you
people.
so much.
Yes, that's awesome. Thank you so much, Anna.
Thank you. I'm really glad to be here, and I hope this helps women in going through this or that just got out and that really need some support. Or if you want to reach out and talk, I know that we will always be there for
Yeah,
them.
awesome. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Want to be part of an online community filled with other badass women supporting each other on their wicked journey? Check out my online community, the Wise Woman Network. We have classes, courses, online community meetings, and more. Activate that sleeping goddess within and unleash your divine power. Join me today on a free trial to all my listeners. Link is in the show notes. I'll see you there.